Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. Happy Tuesday. I'm here with Tuesday Thoughts, and I have the Morning Mantras Affirmators deck, which I love. And so today was like, what am I going to talk about? I had a great subject, but I figured, you know what, it would be better for Self-Care Wednesday to save that one. And so I thought, well, I read the awareness cards, and still my mind is so jumbled that it's just kind of like, I guess we're just not ready to go back to those yet. So I was asking for guidance, and so I found the morning mantras. And normally when I pull these, I pull them with you, and by that I mean I pull them live. So, oh, good morning, Jessie. So I usually pull them live, but this time I decided to look ahead and see maybe if I could get some inspiration for what to talk about today. So I did, and I ended up with the healing deck. So here's the morning mantra. I love the welcome mat. Weirdos welcome. That's so my tribe. Fear and love are always waiting. I know who I'm going to open the door for. Spoiler alert. Hello, love. Hello, love. So, hello, love. So, but, in fact, I think, Jessie, that's how you sometimes greet me. Hello, love. And it's just, oh, see, it's good to have sisters and friends. And, Jessie's one of my sisters. So, let's see. Fear and love are always waiting. I know who I'm going to open the door for. So, that inspired me to talk about fear. Last week was really a week about healing. And a lot of the topics that we had were about healing. And I guess the most important part of that was that I started talking about all these different aspects as I, just started back into therapy. And one of the things I struggle with is fear and letting go of that fear. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today. So I kind of scanned the deck of the Heal Yourself reading cards, and I found a card that says letting go. And letting go seems to be something that a lot of us struggle with. Maybe we're so attached to something, an emotion, or maybe it feels comfortable, or, excuse me, I'm not really sure, but there's so much, and it holds us back. It holds us back. It can give us anxiety. It can give us, you've seen me sometimes when my anxiety just kind of kicks in, which again, to me still is kind of new. So it's something I'm learning how to deal with, something I'm learning how to navigate. But I'll get itchy, or, my whole body starts to tingle to the point where I'm kind of itchy, or I get really fidgety. And those are my tells. Those are my tells. And that's not always the case, because I've always talked with my hands. So I don't know if that's anxiety or just maybe some small part in me that's, I don't know, some cultural thing. I have no idea. But I've always talked with my hands. So I find them very expressive. So one more time. Fear and love are always waiting. I know who I'm going to open the door for. Spoiler alert. Hello, love. I don't know why I'm saying it with an accent, but hello, love. And, again, weirdos welcome. I am like a full-on, full-fledged card-carrying member of the weird tribe. So, if you feel that way, welcome. You're always welcome. Now, getting to the letting go card. I think a lot of times we think we've let go. I think a lot of times we feel like we've moved forward, but letting go is just like an onion, right? It's just like an onion. And, just like our healing is like an onion. You're just constantly peeling away layers and layers and layers until one day you're just kind of like, oh, there's no more onion left. Wow. And then you move forward. But sometimes when we hit the end of that onion and there's nothing left to peel, we get nervous and we don't know how to let go. And then we have triggers that kind of hold us back into these places. So that's why I wanted to pull the card. So this one is, I don't know, this is very druidy, Celtic looking. Look at the stone that she's leaning against. And, if I had had the foresight to look this up earlier, I probably would have looked up the meaning of that Celtic symbol behind her. But to be honest with you, I didn't have a show yesterday because I got steamrolled by a sinus migraine, and I am still having the after effects of it. So I'm going to do the best that I can here. But letting go. This situation has served its purpose. Now, I did read ahead on this, and it's going to talk about a relationship. Okay, but I don't want you to look at this as a relationship, not just specific to letting someone go, but instead looking at the broader picture. You know, this is, to me, letting go of your relationship with fear. So that's where I want us to really focus in on letting go of this relationship with fear, or whatever it is that's holding you back, whatever it is you feel, excuse me, keeps just kind of tugging at you every time you feel like you're moving forward. So letting go. This situation has served its purpose. You are being challenged to change your point of view and recognize that this particular relationship has run its course. Although you might be afraid to let go, the universe has a new opportunity for you which will allow you to experience the kind of passion and satisfaction you have always dreamed of. Saying goodbye is never easy and can make you feel like you are a failure. You must not allow yourself to be persuaded by other people or your own doubts to keep holding on. Focus on opening your heart to a new opportunity. Leave the baggage of past mistakes behind you. It is important that during the letting go process you are gentle with yourself. Allow yourself to have alone time. Write, meditate, paint, sing, dance. Do whatever you can to heal and let go of the pain that is holding you back. Recognize that your spirit is beckoning you to grow. So there you go. You have the whole letting go thing and the aspect of letting go of whatever it is you feel is holding you back. For me, again, it's fear. And I think that might be the case for a lot of people, but the root may be the fear may be the root of whatever it is that you see. It could be, anger or sadness or, all these different pains and emotions that come up with whether you've had trauma or you haven't had trauma in your life. Whether you have a dinged up mental health or whether you're what I call normal people or common people, we still all have traumatic events. We still go through things that hurt us. It's just the difference between my brain and other people's brains is the bounce back time. How long does it take me to just kind of, find my footing again? And some days are great. Some days, boom, just like that. Other days, it might be a little bit more of a struggle. Now, that doesn't mean that if you have a little more of a struggle that you do have a dinged up mental health. If you feel like you do, get yourself checked. It's just as simple as that. But in a way, you kind of have to self-diagnose yourself before somebody can diagnose you, because you have to see the patterns. You have to be able to open your mind, right? Like a beautiful mind. Remember every time the guy, I can't remember his name now, Nash, I think was his last name. Every time he'd see, the formulas and the numbers just floating around in his mind, it's kind of like that. You have to be able to see the signs. You have to be able to know, what your tell is when you're struggling. And like I said, there's the blues, and then there's what I call the common people blues, which is what normal people have. Now, I'm not trying to differentiate us, because I really believe that those of us who do struggle with mental health are just as normal as everybody else. That's a lot of times why I call them common people, because, it's the common thing. Whereas what a lot of us struggle with isn't so common for everybody. It's a lot more than you think, though. Well, we're still fun and we're still enjoyable and we're still amazing people to be around. So, that's usually how I differentiate it. There's common people, and then there's those of us with dinged up mental health. But in the realm of things, we're all normal. We just have different normals, right? So, in the aspect of letting go, we have to ask ourselves, what holds us back? What keeps us held back? Why do we hold on to these emotions? Why do we hold on to the fear, the sadness, the pain, the anger? Is it benefiting us? Is it giving us anything? Is it supporting our life? I saw a great meme that Baby Sibling posted today. Don't hang on to things that don't support your life. You have to ask yourself every day, does this support my life? Does this support my life? And if it doesn't, we need to find ways. You need to find a way to let it go. I'm struggling with letting go of fear, because fear has been such a basis of everything. And I didn't even realize it. I had to weed and weed and weed and weed to get to that root, which was ultimately fear, but it just branched out into a million different things. And one by one, I had to pluck those things away to get to this root, to figure it out. But I'm struggling to pull it out of the ground. I'm struggling to pull it up and just throw it away so that it can't continue to grow. Because the longer I let it sit there, it starts to sprout again. And that creates the doubts that keep us holding on, right? It says right here, you must not allow yourself to be persuaded by other people or your own doubts. Sometimes we're our own worst enemy. Sometimes we'll hear something someone says, and it could be something completely independent of what we think it means. But we're going to latch onto it if we can find anything negative about it, because for a lot of people who have been through bad things, a lot of people who do struggle still, it's a comfort zone. It's like this warm blanket that, is just, if you pull it too high, your feet are exposed. You pull it too low, your shoulders are exposed, right? Those small little throw blankets that aren't really that warm, but you think they are. You think they're comforting. And you think they're warming you up because maybe you're wearing booties. Maybe you're wearing long pants because it's wintertime, your little house pants. And so one part of you will get covered, but the other part is still exposed. But you're taking on that responsibility of making sure whatever part is exposed is covered. And this is sort of the same thing. We have to find a blanket that fits us completely, that we can snuggle up in, that keeps us warm. And this blanket of fear is not that thing. It's that small little 4x4 blanket that only keeps part of you warm. Unless you're an animal, unless you're a fur baby laying on a couch, in which case, yes, it's going to cover all of you, but you're not. You're not. And so we have to decide, this blanket's comfortable. I love it. Maybe you personally made it, but is it doing its job? Is it supporting the comfort I'm looking for? Is it supporting my life now? Is it bringing me the joy I need for it to bring? Is it bringing me the warmth I need for it to bring? Or is it just kind of half-assing it and just, doing a little bit here and a little bit there? That's what we have to ask ourselves. Because if it's not supporting us, we need to let it go. We need to leave it behind. This card, this card is actually confusing me. Looking at this card is not helping me. She looks like she's in a cemetery, okay? And I think that's the whole basis of it, is the fear, right? Because a lot of people are afraid of being in cemeteries, and you have these hooded guys in the background, which I think are just druids, but they don't have a face. And maybe that's just it. Maybe that's the trauma. It's like, you notice she's leaning against the rock. She doesn't look like she's distressed or anything. She just looks like, do I really want to stay here with these, faceless figures behind me, which could be whatever it is that she's running from. And sometimes in order to let go, we have to run at what we're afraid of, not from it. I know, that's scary, right? We have to run at it, not from it. When we keep running from something, it's just going to keep chasing us. Sometimes we have to face our fear. I know what my fears are. And I've been doing a really good job of actually moving past it. Last night I had this great journal session. I actually looked up a different card and revisited the victim consciousness card. And in fact, let me see if I can find that one really quick. I also had a different card come up, which was interesting. But let me see. I don't know where the victim consciousness is. So here it is. Stop blaming others and take responsibility for what you are creating. It's easy to think that life is unfair and point a finger at others. If you hear yourself saying life is unfair, bad things always happen to me, I'm not good enough, nobody cares about me, why me, I can't do what I want to do, etc., then you are losing your power, nourishing your victim aspect, and ascertaining your place in the victim club. Your inner victim can stop you from moving forward by creating dramas, making you judge others, telling you that you don't deserve better, and keeping you stuck in a financial rut. You need to build your internal confidence, self-worth, and courage. Get out of your comfort zone and work on expanding and growing in all areas of your life. The light side of the victim archetype is the victorious part, which can help you to hold your power without getting angry and attacking others. It can also assist you to create healthy boundaries and act from a place of honesty, integrity, compassion, and love. Now, if you really think about that last part, healthy boundaries and acting from a place of honesty, integrity, compassion, and love, that can actually help you let go. Sometimes I think we don't let go of the fear because I think it feels like the only thing we have control over, right? And if you have been through very serious traumas, especially childhood traumas, you can have that feeling that you need to be in control. And maybe control is the fear. And to explain that and to kind of elaborate on that, when we lose that control, we're not in control of that fear anymore, which means we're, instead of, kind of running at it, we're running away from it. Oh, sorry, running at it, we're running away from it. And that's not what we want to do. The victim consciousness card isn't meant to make anyone feel bad. It's meant to say, hey, if you're stuck in this mind trap, it's up to you to break that cycle. You can get help to break that cycle, but no one can break that cycle but you. Excuse me, I don't know where that came from. You can get therapy. You can talk to a counselor. You can talk to friends. Make sure that whoever you're talking to doesn't just try to smooth things over, doesn't just try to say, oh, well, or even fill your heads with doubts, because you don't know who you're talking to. You may be talking to someone as broken as you are, and then you're just feeding off of each other until maybe one day one of you rises up and says, you know what, we got to stop this because this is not helping us. But that's what we need to do. We are in charge of our lives. We are in charge of what path we take, how far we move forward, how fast we move forward. And this isn't a race. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. This is your healing. And your healing can take as long as it needs to, unless you find yourself stuck in the cycle of healing. And I don't know if that's a real thing or it just flew out of my mouth, but that's where I'm at. I'm stuck in the cycle of healing because healing has become my new comfort zone. Constantly trying to find new parts of me that need to be healed because I'm afraid to move forward. Why? I don't know. There's a lot of different things. I'll be honest with you. The card that came up last night for me, which surprised me, was the sexuality card. And it wasn't about, trying to figure out what your pronouns are. It was about tuning into yourself. Who are you? Who are you inside? How do you feel about your body? Do you love your body? Do you hate your body? And, I try to be, I'm not the greatest advocate for body positivity because I often forget. I focus so much on the mental health. But the mental health does go with that. Having a healthy, view of yourself, no matter what your size, thick or thin. It's important to love yourself from the inside out. Don't worry about what other people think about you. Don't worry about whether somebody else is going to find you attractive. You are the one that has to find you attractive first. We cannot look for other people's, oh God, what's the word I'm looking for? This is what I mean when my head is still, like I'm having a headache hangover, is I cannot find this word. We need to find the love in ourselves before we can look for it in other people. And sometimes we are lucky. Sometimes people do come along and help us with that. Maybe, when we don't have the support groups that we need, somebody special may come along and help us. Somebody who might become your partner may come along and help you with that. But first and foremost, we have to start it ourselves. We have to find that within ourselves. We have to look deep. And for a lot of us, starting that journey inward is scary because we don't know what's going to come up. It's like walking through a dark forest and validation. Thank you, Jessica. Hi. See, support group. They know me. They know how to read my brain. We cannot look for validation in other people. Simple as that. It's nice to get it and it's nice to have it. But when we're seeking approval, that's the other word I was looking for, validation and approval. When we're constantly seeking approval from other people, we're doing a disservice to ourselves because we're not allowing ourselves to see how special we are. I mean, how many times have we looked to somebody for approval and they've just turned around and disappointed us and hurt us so bad and just basically, and then what happens? The person that you're seeking approval from has not only disappointed you, but they've walked away. And now you're left feeling like, oh, well, maybe I'm not that person. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not special enough. And you are. You're 100%, you are. And that's what I had to learn with this card, the sexuality card, because I struggle with that. My own past has left me in kind of a vulnerable state because now I'm in a place of healing, but I'm afraid to move over and open my heart because I don't know how I'll react in an intimate situation and it scares me. But once I learned how to become comfortable with myself and become more comfortable with myself, I'm giving you the look so you know what I'm talking about. I think that will help. Once I get out of my own head and stop worrying, once I trust that, I'll pick the partner or the person that I let into my life in that way will be the right person, will be understanding, compassionate, loving, kind. And that's the fear I have to move past. Because I honestly think that's my last anchor. I know what I'm capable of. I know what I bring to this world. I know the light I put into this world. I don't do this show every day because I like to look at myself on camera or hear myself talk. Although some people would say they think I love to hear myself talk. But that's not why I do it. I do it because I know out there are people just like me who struggle. Dinged up mental health or not. We all struggle with something. And a lot of times I think too that we are looking for validation from other people. I was that. I was an approval seeker. I was a people pleaser. And I'm recovering from both of those. I'm a recovering people pleaser. I'm a recovering approval seeker. Cannot talk today. But the more I find my own personal self-validation, the more empowered I feel, the more powerful I feel. Because I know that when we put out this energy, it talked about the universe and the letting go. But it could be whoever your higher power is, whoever your source is, or it could be both. It could be the universe and your source. However you want to view it. There's no wrong way to look at things. There's no wrong way to worship. There's no wrong way to pray. There's no wrong way to manifest. Well, actually there is. You don't want to manifest bad stuff. But when you're in the right vibe, when you're in the good vibe, when you're in the high vibe, there's no wrong way to manifest or set intentions. As long as you put the right energy behind them, you're going to get what you're asking for. You may not get you're going to get what you need. Okay. Just like, what is it? The Rolling Stone song. You're going to get what you need. You may not get what you're asking for, but you'll get what you need. Because they know, whoever your higher power, your source, your universe, whoever they are, even maybe just your soul, knows what you need. So you may be saying, oh, I want this. And then you may get something similar. Just be happy with it. Because you don't know what's still coming. Right? I know people who thought one person was their be-all, end-all. And, now they're with somebody new who's even better. The universe replaced it. There was pain, there was hurt, there was sadness. But then the universe filled it with something amazing. And something that's even bigger and better than what was there before. So there is an action in here. And I will put it in the comments on YouTube and on the Facebook comments. But the action is, when you feel stuck in a point of view, you can ask yourself, is this my belief or someone else's? How does it serve me? Am I willing to let go of my fears and unfounded limitations? Well, this is going to be a fun exercise today. So say to yourself, Divine Healing Intelligence, please assist me to let go of this situation. State what the situation is. This habit, state what it is. Or this person, say their name. With ease and grace, inspire me to move forward with freedom, lightness, and a feeling of completion. Bring into my reality new and empowering experiences, people, and opportunities. Thank you. Repeat the word clear several times. So clearing means, basically, it's like the practice. Oh my God, that's funny. Jessica said, are you calling me up because I'm watching it? No, I'm actually not. This is something we talked about last week. But yes, oh my God, I totally forgot about that. See? So Jessica kind of pointed it out herself. She called herself out. But she went through something similar. And actually, no, to be honest, I was just referring to people in general. I was referring to myself. I've been disappointed by people in my life. And even though I haven't had a person come in to take that place in a partnership, relationship type of thing yet, it was replaced with people who are so beautiful and wonderful and who fit into the puzzle of my life so very well, including Jessie. and there are times in my therapy journaling that I've been looking back and thinking, well, it's hard being single. And you can see I'm getting emotional about that now. It's hard being single, especially for as long as I've been single. But I think about all the wonderful people that replaced the negative people that used to be in my life, that did disappoint me in life, that did, hurt me. When I refer to these things, unless I actually specifically say someone, or, maybe I'll refer to someone specifically without using their name, I'm usually talking about my own experiences, and they hurt. But again, this is why I like doing the lives, because this resonated with somebody. And I can tell you now, I see this person and they're so happy. Life isn't easy for them. Okay. Life is not easy. There's a lot of, aspects to this relationship, but I love back to you, girl. But I see the joy that's there now. So thank you, Jesse, for bringing that up. But yeah, sorry. I know it sounded familiar, but no, I was not talking about you. But hey, when the shoe fits, right? And it does. So it's like the Cinderella slipper. But yeah, this is about letting go. This is about letting go. And for me, the reason I shared the sexuality card was because I realized that this is all shut down. This is opening up, but this is all, it's just been blocked off. And I think a lot of the reason that I struggle with the weight is because I'm so afraid to let somebody in. I'm so afraid, and I figure, well, if they love me like this, then they really love me. But that's not the point. I can't keep myself in an unhealthy state. And I'm not saying that if you're plus size that you're unhealthy, because, you do you. But for me, because of my heart, it is not a safe place for me to be if I want to live a long time. So it's not about the weight itself. Or how, well, it is about the weight. It's not about the vanity of it. It's not about the appearance. It's about the health and keeping my heart healthy. And I want to make that clear because, whether you're thick or thin, you're beautiful, you're handsome, you're smart, you're creative, you're everything. But if you don't see that, how can you expect someone else to see that? We have to shine from the inside out. And part of doing that is letting go. It's letting go of that fear. It's letting go of that pain, that anger, that sadness. Maybe there is a person that you need to let go of that is still holding you back, that is making you struggle, that is hurting you. We can be mad at people forever, but why do we want to carry that with us? It doesn't serve us. It doesn't serve our purpose. If people hurt us in the past, okay, fine, let it go. Grieve. Take your time to grieve whatever happened. Because it is a loss. It does hurt. It is painful. But if it was a relationship, it's time to let it go. And I need to think about that. It's been a long time since I've been in a relationship. It's been a long time since I've dated, which was basically before my last relationship. But I know it's been a long time. But anyways, but I held that anger for a long time. I held that animosity for a long time. And maybe I'm talking about it now because maybe I still do. You see how people's lives progress and you feel like, well, how come this didn't happen for me? And maybe it wasn't meant to. We're all on the path we're meant to be on, whether we like it or not. I was just journaling today about when I was in high school, my dream was to be, a writer, an actor, and, a mom and a wife. None of those things has happened. I write, and I've done a little bit of the acting on little small people's, not small people's, but little small things, but they still bring me joy. And writing is my passion. Writing is my be all end all. And my therapist knows this, which is why she's making me write the story of my life. To show me, look, because I know when I go in there a week from Friday, she's going to say, oh, so you've written X amount of chapters, so why don't you do that with the stories in your head? She's going to call me out, which is why I love her. I hate her for calling out, which is why she's perfect for me. Because she knows she's calling out my bullshit. She's making me see what I refuse to see. and she's putting it out there and making me see it. And that's why I adore her. She's amazing. I mean, like I said last week when I was talking about it the first day with the healing and the letting go, the first 10, 15 minutes, I was like, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. And every time I said, I hate you, I'm all, this is why she's perfect for me. This is why she's the perfect therapist. Because she sees me. She sees the person I'm struggling to see right now. And she knows it's in there. She knows she's in there. There's a Shelley Marie in there that's waiting to come out. But I have to let go. I have to let go of whatever anchor it is that's holding me back, including the part about the sexuality. The part about being afraid of what your body is capable of. Being afraid of, moving in certain ways. Maybe feeling like because you look a certain way that you're not capable of doing this. I got news for you. Look at Lizzo. That girl is amazing. I love her. I don't hear a lot of her music, but I follow her because she is so inspiring to me. And I will tell you, I have been a skinny mini, and I hated myself even more back then. I've had body positivity issues from childhood because of the things I've been through, because of the way my brain was wired. And I'm finally learning how to, redo the wiring on all that stuff and to appreciate the body I'm in. And that's what we all need to do. So whether it's that you're dealing with, whether it's fear you're dealing with, maybe both are tied in somehow together, remember, whatever it is that's holding you back, it's that too small blanket that does not keep you warm. It either keeps your shoulders warm or it keeps your feet warm, but it doesn't keep both unless you curl up. And in a way, if you want to think about that, curling up could be like turtling. You just go back in your shell where it's safe. You go back into the comfort zone where it's safe. And that's not always the best place to be. Sometimes we need to be brave enough, courageous enough, again, to face what it is that's chasing us, to stand it down. Yesterday I felt like I was in the battle of battles with my headache. I feel like somebody punched me in the back of the head. And I was down and I was nauseous for pretty much the whole day. I had this lingering headache for the rest of the day, and it's still a little bit there. My cousin asked me how I was doing today, baby sibling, and she's all like, how are you doing today? I'm like, I feel rough. I feel like somebody steamrolled me yesterday. But those are the battles we fight. And sometimes if you want to look at it as a physical manifestation, that's how we have to look at it. Something that's tangible, that you can battle, even if it's just in your head. Put it out there. Say, look, fear, give it the middle finger, poke it in the eye or something, and just tell it, look, I'm better than you. I'm bigger than you. And you don't get to run my life anymore. I'm letting you go. I'm cutting you loose. And you could even kind of flip the narrative on that. And, maybe you're saying to fear, hey, we're done. Okay. And they may be saying, thank you for letting me finally go. Maybe that's what we need sometimes too, is that acknowledgement from our fear saying, you know what? I appreciate you finally setting me free. And in that aspect, we can be still the hero, right? We're the hero of our lives, and we're the hero of fear. We're the hero saying bye. And it's saying, thanks for letting me go. Have a great life. There's all different ways that we can make it work. We just have to make it work. Don't allow your brain to lie to you. Sometimes our brains will lie to us. It makes us feel like we're safe, but the question is, are we living? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. Are we living? And again, the daily question, does this serve any purpose in my life? So, again, repeat the word clear several times. I know I left on that and I kind of diverted. When I hear the word clear, repeating clear several times, you noticed I was doing this earlier. There's a practice that I'm certified in called Ho'oponopono, which is an ancient Hawaiian practice. And it's, when a family would have trouble, they would sit down and they would do this. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in that order. That's the order I learned it in. That's the order that most people say it in. But you will find varying degrees of how people say it. There are times when I'll start with one phrase, and then when I find myself reverting back to the way I learned it, I'll know that I'm clear. And it's about wiping away. It's, imagine a whiteboard and there's just all this crap all over it. Or even an Etch-a-Sketch. Remember the Etch-a-Sketch? Who's old enough to remember an Etch-a-Sketch? And, you're drawing all over it. There's all these squiggly lines, and then you shake it and everything's gone. This is kind of the same thing. You're taking this whiteboard and you're wiping it clean of all this stuff, but you're repeating this phrase. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And while you're doing that, like I said, I'll start with, I'm sorry, and I'll just, whatever words come up after that, and I'll repeat it. And once I come back to, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, or I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me, thank you, I know that is clear. And it doesn't always remain clear, right? It's like a windshield. Stuff is going to get on it, and you have to continually wipe yourself back to zero. And sometimes it's what we have to do with whatever it is that we're struggling to let go of. So, whatever it is you're struggling with, you are courageous and you are brave. And I know that you can do it. I know if I can do it, you can do it. And I'm working on it with you guys. That's another big part of this whole perspective, is that a lot of the things I talk about, I'm still going through. I'm still managing and navigating. And, we're the captains of our own ship. We're the engineers of our own train. We're the captains and the pilots of our own airplanes, whatever vehicle you choose. Not just a car, but something big, right? That's the story of your life. The story of your life is huge. Where do you want to go? Do you want to just be the choo-choo that goes on a track around the Christmas tree, or do you want a train that goes everywhere, that travels everywhere? Be imaginative. Create yourself a big bridge that goes across the Atlantic Ocean or the Pacific Ocean, just wherever your train wants to go, wherever your plane wants to fly, wherever your boat wants to sail. I used to live in the sea of misery. Sometimes I get caught in the wall of waves. Sometimes it sucks me right back in. But most times I now exist in the ocean of bliss. And that wall of waves, that's the scary thing. That's what we have to face. That's what we have to manage our way through, to navigate our way through. Hopefully unscathed. Maybe your ship might need a little bit of, reconstructing when you get through those wall of waves. But it's worth it in the end. When we run at what we're afraid of, we're showing it that we're empowered, that we have the strength, and that we're going to win, that we're going to beat it. When we're constantly running from whatever it is that terrifies us, it's winning. And we can't let it win anymore. It is scary. Like I said, it's scary. And if you don't feel like you can do it alone, find someone to do it with you. Get professional help. Whatever it is that you need. There's a lot of places that will work on scale if you don't feel like you have the money for it. All these different, there's just so many options out there. And these things can really help us dive deep and walk us through whatever pain it is that we're struggling with. So, I know, let's do this, okay? Let's do this together. Let's just let go of all the crap, and just live the life that we've imagined. There's a great Henry James quote. It's time to start living the life you've imagined. And I love that quote. I love that quote because it's so true. And yet here I am just reading the quote instead of living the quote. So we all deserve a good life. We all deserve a beautiful life. And when we allow ourselves to open ourselves up to the possibility of all different things, and to know that we have the power to create boundaries so that fear cannot step back in, or if it tries to, we can walk away and say, nope, sorry, that's not for me. Then we are able to move into that, shift into that bliss gear. We all deserve to live in the bliss gear. Is every day going to be perfect? Fuck no. Hello, we're humans. We're all going to have bad days. It's just how it is. How we react to it is what makes the difference. We can take it personally, or we can let it go. Hey, you know what? There are going to be days. I'm telling you from experience, there are going to be days and we take it personally. But do you carry that anger with you to the next day, or you just say, you know what? I've wasted enough energy on this. I'm out. Tapping out. Bye. Bye, anger. See ya. Have a great life. And then we move forward. As long as our good days outnumber our bad days, we're going to be okay. And sometimes it's a struggle and it takes a lot of work to make our good days outnumber our bad days. But everything and anything is possible. I believe in you and I see you. And I know that when I see you, I see myself reflecting in a lot of different ways, because these are the things that I do struggle with. And I know that we can all do it together. You know, whether I know you or not, I do see you. And I do know how brave and strong you are, because if you're watching this and you've made it this far, and even if something resonates with you, you've made it past that. You made it past whatever it is that was hurting you. You're sitting here still watching because if you haven't made it past there, you're like, okay, what can I get out of this that will help me move forward? Even if it's just not feeling alone in your pain and knowing there are others who do struggle. Sometimes that can give us power. Not because we feel, good, someone's got it worse. No, it's because we know there are other people out there. We're not alone. And we know that if they're struggling, maybe we can feel better to help other people out of their pain. I say this every so often. I share my story to help other people heal theirs. I open myself like a book or a magazine in a doctor's office to help other people with their stories. It's not easy. It's scary sometimes. I didn't want to share that one card, the one about sexuality, because it was just like, that's a little personal. But I figure maybe there's someone out there who's struggling with that. Maybe they don't see themselves. Maybe they look in the mirror and we can't catch our eyes in the mirror because we just don't want to look at ourselves. That's what that card was about. It was about exploring yourself. The whole exercise for that card was to stand in front of a mirror naked and just sensually move. And do it every day for 2 weeks. Just move sensually. Learn how to love your body. Learn how to feel a part of your body. And like I said, it doesn't matter whether you're thick or thin. People of all shapes and sizes struggle with body positivity. I've struggled with it my whole life, when I was thin and when I was a plus size. But like I said, I love myself more now than I ever did back then. Because I'm learning how to appreciate myself. I'm learning how to love myself. And once we do that, it is easier to let go of what it is we're afraid of. Because we're empowering ourselves. Okay? So, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you, Jessie, for coming on. Good morning, baby bear. Thank you, baby bear, for coming on. And older sibling, I just saw that you were on. I can't see everybody that's been on, but I've been seeing the eyeballs going up and down here with the numbers. But Jessie, Michelle, older sibling, thank you all for sticking here. Jessie, thank you. It's like a guest appearance. I love it. I love it. So, I love all of you guys, all you girls. You've been a big, huge part of my life. Like I said, some things were removed from my life and it was replaced with beautiful people. So, and maybe one day I'll get that special someone in my life. And when that happens, it'll be amazing and it'll be lovely and it'll be wonderful. And I'll appreciate it more than I probably ever did, because I know that I personally validate myself. So any validation and approval that comes from somebody else will just be that bonus, right? That kind of makes your cup overflow and makes you feel so wonderful and just so blissful inside. But remember, that feeling also has to come from you. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching and hanging in there. I know this wasn't the easiest subject. It wasn't the hardest one we've had. Not the easiest. But I do appreciate everybody hanging in there. I'll be back here tomorrow for Self-Care Wednesday. We're going to talk about anxiety. A friend of mine sent this great article, and I'm going to share it with you guys because there's some great pointers, tips, and everything for taking care of ourselves. And again, tomorrow's Self-Care Wednesday. So 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, Facebook Live. All lives are public under Shelly Marie Lucas. Anybody can watch, or I do post these to YouTube right afterward, or right after, under the Aloha Perspective. And I do share it to my Facebook page, the Aloha Perspective. Again, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much for all the love, you guys. And take care of yourselves, okay? I'll see you back here tomorrow for Self-Care Wednesday. Have a great day.